Imagine looking outside tomorrow and seeing something impossible. Every volcano on Earth is erupting, from tiny volcanic islands to enormous mountains. The planet suddenly comes alive. Lava pours down slopes. Ash shoots kilometers into the sky. The ground shakes as thousands of eruptions begin at almost the same time. And this isn't just a disaster for the places near volcanoes. It becomes a global event. In the first few minutes, enormous clouds of ash would rise into the atmosphere. Cities near volcanoes could be buried under thick layers of ash, while lava destroys roads, buildings, forests, and farmland. But the most dangerous material wouldn't necessarily be the lava. It would be what the volcanoes send into the atmosphere. Volcanic eruptions release huge amounts of gases, including sulfur dioxide. High in the atmosphere, sulfur dioxide can form tiny sulfate particles that reflect sunlight back into space. Now imagine thousands of volcanoes doing this simultaneously. The sky would begin to change. Sunlight would become weaker, and the atmosphere would fill with ash and volcanic aerosols. Daytime could become strangely dark and orange, with enormous clouds spreading across continents. Temperatures would begin to fall. At first, the cooling might seem almost welcome in some places, but as the aerosols spread around the planet, the effects would become much more serious. Agriculture would be hit hard. Plants need sunlight to grow, and now sunlight is being blocked. Ash could bury crops while freezing temperatures damage them from above. Food production would collapse in many regions. Animals would lose vegetation. Livestock would need food that farms can no longer reliably produce. And humans would face a growing problem. How do you feed billions of people when the sky itself is blocking the sunlight? Meanwhile, volcanic ash would create another nightmare. Ash isn't ordinary dust. It can damage engines, contaminate water supplies, clog machinery, and make breathing dangerous. Airports around the world could shut down because aircraft engines cannot safely operate through dense volcanic ash. Transportation would become increasingly difficult. Supply chains would begin breaking apart. And then there is the ocean. Rain-carrying volcanic compounds could increase the acidity of surface waters. Ash and other materials would enter marine ecosystems, affecting organisms near the surface and disrupting food webs. But here's where things become complicated. The planet would not instantly turn into a frozen ball. Earth's oceans store enormous amounts of heat, and the atmosphere and oceans would respond more slowly than the land. The biggest effects would unfold over months and years. Eventually, much of the volcanic material suspended in the atmosphere would begin settling out. The skies would slowly clear. Sunlight would return. Temperatures would begin recovering. But the damage wouldn't disappear immediately. Forests would need years or decades to regenerate. Soil could be buried beneath ash. Animal populations could collapse. Agriculture and global infrastructure could take much longer to recover. And there is another important detail. Not every volcano on Earth contains enough magma or pressure to produce an enormous explosive eruption. So a literal scenario where every volcano suddenly produces a gigantic eruption is extremely unrealistic. But if we imagine that every known active volcanic system somehow erupted at once, the result would still be one of the most severe natural disasters Earth could experience.